how'd you come to know the Lord, Kyle?
Well, about maybe 2 years ago, I was really into partying. I was pursuing DJing a lot. I was getting jobs and just trying to make my way in the DJ world, just DJing at clubs, just trying to pursue music. And I was just, really in a part of my time where I was just, trying to, get in where I fit in. I had a girlfriend at the time. She, she was a really big part of my life. I was just partying a lot, drinking, and I just remember that time, maybe, when I was really getting busy with DJing and stuff, I ran into an old friend of mine, Rich, and he used to coach me when I was a kid in football, and you guys might know him, but I ran into him, and we just started talking, and, he invited me to come hang out with him a few times, and I remember I would just go out to lunch with him and stuff like that and spend time with him, and, he was trying to help me at the same time with DJing and stuff like that. He was helping me get some business cards, just helping me trying to get in where I fit in with DJing.
Yeah.
And I remember he took me out to lunch one day, and I had spent a lot of time with him at this time, and I was in his house, and he would invite me into his home. I'd be there late at night just kicking it with him and stuff. And I remember going out to lunch with him, and I was like, bro, I noticed there's something different about you. What is it? And, I've been in your life, now, we've been kicking it the past couple months.
Yeah.
And I noticed there's just something different about you, bro. And, what is it? Like, what is it about you? I see you carry yourself, a different way. You don't have it all together financially, but, what is it about you? And he said, dude, he just looked at me in the eyes, and he gave me a serious look, and he said, bro, it's the cross. And it's the way Jesus has changed my life. And, I know now that, it's just what God's done in my life. And, that kind of, I grabbed a hold of that. I remember not saying much and just letting him talk from there. But I remember that day I kind of saw a different insight on things, and I wanted to know more. And it led me to maybe like a month after that, I ended up going to one of his Bible studies. I told him one Thursday I wanted to come through and come check it out.
Yeah.
And, he was like, cool, man, come through. And I went there, and, at the time, that same time before, backtracking a little bit, before I even went, he was kind of still, helping me with DJing. He was kind of mentoring me in a little way, like of music, and also just, he was a person that was there for me. And whenever I needed to talk about girlfriend problems or just anything in general, he was there. So I ended up going, and I remember that night, I've never grown up in church or anything like that. My whole life, I know my mom works at a church and stuff like that, but I never really, gave much thought into any type of religion or God or anything. And
yeah.
I remember I went to that Bible study, and just something grabbed a hold of me. And I was there, and I don't even remember what was preached or what was spoken about. I remember Rich spoke that night at the Bible study, but I remember when he just asked, who wants to give their life to the Lord, and he explains it sometimes. I went up there, and I was just crying, and I broke down, and I knew I was at this place in my life where I was just, I was lonely, man. Even though I had, I put everything I had into my girlfriend, into music, and into just trying to figure out life. And I just know that night something happened. And I went up there and gave my life to God, and he said the Lord's Prayer over me, and I accepted Jesus in my life. And from there on, he just, he was my big bro. He just started, showing me things, bro, here's this, here's that, you should start, reading, just started hanging out, and started meeting people.
Yeah.
Got in touch with Impact and all the guys, all the, Solo, Cannon, Justin, all the Crumpers and stuff, got mixed in with that group of people. And I remember there was just this thing, I wanted to keep doing music. And I told him, Rich, man, and he would tell me like, bro, you gotta put it aside, dude. You gotta focus on the Lord, man. And he would just, guide me, and he'd be like, dude, you just gotta put it down. You gotta see what God wants you to do. And it's like, man, dude, but I'm just getting my foot out there. I'm just getting my feet wet. Like, I'm just starting to get my music played here, or, I just did this. Like, dude, And he's like, bro, you gotta let it go. And I remember I was like, I just made a commitment, saying, all right, Lord, I want to see what you have for me. And, I want to follow you now. I know I've done it, my way, 20 years now, and I want to do it your way. And I just had to make that commitment. And the Lord, just started working in me. And remember, I just had like a terrible mouth. Like, remember right when I got saved, Rich would tell me I used to come to the Bible, or like I would come not to the Bible studies, but even like before or after the Bible studies, and I would come in cussing and drunk and stuff like that. And God just started working in me. And I remember that weekend after I went to the Bible study, I went on that Thursday night, and I remember that weekend I was doing laundry at my house, and I remember I forget what I was doing. I stubbed my toe or something, and I was walking out the door and I cussed, and it was weird. I was all by myself. There was nobody at the house, and I just remember like God putting this conviction in me like instantly, and I was like, what is this? Like, like I felt convicted already of cussing, and it was like that very weekend, and nobody had told me, no, bro, you need to stop cussing. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like I felt God like already working in me. I was like, dang, God, like this is crazy. And that just started building up affection and stuff like that. And as time went, I started getting more involved, meeting people and stuff like that. And we moved over here. I was going to another church before, Cornerstone, and then we moved over here. Came over to Praise Chapel maybe like a month after I got saved. And came here, and then I remember a month went by or something, and I started meeting people and met Pastor Adam, and he's like, bro, like, I heard you DJ, like, you should come, like, be part of the services and stuff like that, come, like, do an outreach or something like that with us. Are you willing to, like, DJ? And I was like, yeah, man, like, sure, and
see, I think the cool part is, like, there's a time where you had to, like, where Rich was telling you had to, focus on the Lord right now.
For sure.
And, lay aside your DJing right now. That part of you had to die for a second, Mm-hmm. And you had to put the Lord first. And now that you put the Lord first, you could come back and you could still do your thing, DJing. And that's what you do here. I think that's one of the most awesome parts about serving God. Like, you could still do what you enjoy doing, what's positive, but you're in a community where you could do that,
right?
And that part of you died, that part you got rid of. That old Kyle's gone, and the new one came in. That's the best part.
For sure, man.